Hello everybody, this is the Benjinator, and welcome back to Let's Play Chrono Trigger. This is part 61, and we are still in the Black Omen. But we did manage to stop by a friendly news store who gave us some nice ethers, and we got a save point here, so we're making our way through, slowly but surely. I'm actually trying to see if today I can get through at least the playthrough of this game. It's a Saturday, so I haven't got much to do. Might as well go for it. Alright, so now we're going to be fighting this enemy up here, who actually looks a lot like Hekron, but he's not Hekron. He's actually a different beast, and this guy actually is pretty tricky. He has a pretty nasty physical attack. So yeah, the Tubster. He can be taken care of in the regular way, but you do have to try to get rid of him quickly, because yeah, he'll counterattack, and that does quite a bit of damage. So let's have our friend Magus use Dark Bomb, and then let's use let's just bomb him to death. Let's drop a couple of nukes on him, shall we? Oops. Okay, never mind. Let's not do that and say we did. All right. So hopefully this will do some damage. So apparently he is immune to shadow attacks. Probably one of the more challenging monsters we're gonna have to deal with. But yeah, that counterattack really is quite devastating. So, all right, awesome. He doesn't have that much HP, but he does do quite a bit of damage. And unfortunately, he doesn't give you a lot of tech points, only 20. Which is a shame. Give me those sidekicks any day. Anyway, so let me heal up and I'll be right back. The one nice thing is that as far as kind of the final bosses go, for the most part, magic defense is a lot more important than physical defense. So don't worry too much about your physical. Alright, so now we got another pair of new enemies. Oh, Lucas should see these guys as being familiar. It's Gato, except it's not. It's the Cybot. So these guys are much juiced up versions of Gato, and they'll counterattack with this musical chaotic number, but because we have prism helmets, it has absolutely no effect. And all it does is piss off Chrono and kills him. So, as you might imagine, if you don't have the prism helmets, this dungeon is even more difficult than it already is, because you keep getting attacked by status inflictions. Granted, of course, when you get to the news, you can always buy Vigil hats, and that's always nice, but still, if you try to go to this dungeon right after escaping from the Blackbird, you're not going to have that much GP. So, the side quests definitely help. They actually make this dungeon possible. Otherwise, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever have to face. So, alright, here is kind of a weird dungeon. These guys will try to block you in, and I think that there's a way to get past them. Let me give it a shot. See, okay, that's not too hard. Yeah. Otherwise, you just have to have a battle against them, and that's kind of a pain, but not too bad. All right, so, and as you imagine, if you touch one of these snakes up here, you have to go into a battle with a bunch of ruminators. But let's see if we can't get past them. All right, awesome. My coordination today is actually pretty good. Zodiac Cape, not a bad piece of armor, but I think the ones that we have are actually better. All right, so if you want to get past these guys, you can, and wait till their eyes to close. But why would you want to do that? I mean, it's a sidekick and a boss orb. Let's try to take him out and see if we can get more tech points. Aw, man, totally unlucky there. That's alright, though. There's plenty more where that came from. So, alright. 2 goons and a Flyclops. We've dealt with these guys before, so let us take them out. Yeah, it's borderline stupid how resistant Magus is to magic, but it's definitely useful. Alright, so now we're going to be fighting... Oh, look at this! Treasure Trove! We got 4 of these guys, so let's see how our luck goes with the sidekicks and the boss orbs. Only managed to grab 1, but 1's always better than nothing. So like I was saying, yeah, Magus, even though he doesn't combine with anybody, really resistant to magic attacks, and that, for the end of the game, is extremely important. So, always a good thing. The Power Seal, alright. So, the Power Seal is actually something that... even though he's not in our party right now, I would actually put him on... I would actually put it on, what was it? Ayla. Yeah, Ayla. The Prism specs are good, but I believe that the Power Seal is even better. So what this will do is, yeah, this will really boost up your attack power. And that can be very useful for later, because Ayla, as I might have mentioned before, is part of what I call the classic trio. And usually by that I mean the enemies or the allies that you want when you're trying to take on the final boss. Alright, so we got a Tubster and 2 Flyclops. Let's take them out. Right. Again, those Tubsters, just make sure to deliver crushing blows. Otherwise, they will counterattack pretty fiercely, especially against Magus. Unfortunately, the thing about Magus is that even though his magical defense is quite high, his physical is not that great. So we're fighting once again the Cybots and the Martellos. Decided not to leave this battle out. But yeah, these guys, as you imagine, are pretty easy. Dealt with them before. There are some enemies here that I think are just way more challenging than others. If you ask me, the Tubsters and the Goons are probably the biggest pains. Everybody else, it's fairly basic. Just use like a powerful technique or what have you, and that'll usually take care of it. So, and of course, there's always those boss orbs and sidekicks that are basically just experience points dispensers, so to speak. All right, a speed tab, awesome. Gonna use that in just a little bit. Alright, so before I proceed, I probably should heal up and use that speed tab, so I'll be right back. Alright, fit as a fiddle. Yeah, it's good that we're getting really close to Dark Matter, just because it's a spell, you've seen it before, but it's so much more satisfying when you get to use it yourself. Alright, so here's another little teleportation thing. Again, just the game's way of telling you that you're advancing, in case you weren't aware before. So yeah, that's definitely kind of nifty. All right, so now we're in this room, which is this one's actually kind of a weird one. You have enemies kind of showing up at random. All right, now we got a bunch of new ones, so enemies that we have not seen before, and those guys on the left, especially on the outsides, the borders of the screen, look pretty darn freakish, very ugly. So let's see how Dark Mist goes up against these guys. So just a fun little fact, this is the only room, I think, in the entire game where you fight these enemies. So these guys do not reappear. Uh-oh. So apparently you don't want to use magic on those guys. So lesson learned, lesson learned. It's effective on the aliens, but in the blobs they will sap your magic. So that's unfortunate. Oh well. I honestly haven't tried using magic on these guys before, so that's the only reason why I didn't know. Like, usually, when I get through this point in the game, I'll have, like, Ayla and Frog in my party, so I can just use a Falcon hit, and that takes them all out, because, as you can see, they're in a straight vertical line, but I do want the rest of these party members to learn something, so why not? Gotta have that Dark Matter. That Dark Matter's our friend. Alright, 3,000 EXP. So awesome. And we're getting that much closer to learning Flare and Dark Matter. So, hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. It's just a shame that Chrono's not learning anything else. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, why don't you have another party member in there? And that is because Chrono, with the Frenzy Band and the Rainbow, is just OP and makes battles so much easier. So I do recommend having Chrono in most of your situations. You can get through points of the game without him, but I'd recommend bringing him along. And look, it's our friend, the Sidekicks. And apparently they got their eyes closed right now, so you can't fight them quite yet, but when you get the chance, make sure to do so. Alright, so another speed tab. Getting a lot of these speed tabs, which is kind of interesting. Oh, and look, some more aliens. So let's fight them. Alright, so fun fact, if you physically attack the aliens, they will counterattack with instant death. So try to kill them the first time. That's something that apparently I had forgotten. This is that point in the game where kind of my familiarity is a little bit off. So anyway, I just decided to run back and try my luck once again with the sidekicks. So let's do it. Woohoo! So Magus learned Dark Matter. So let's check on how he's doing. I probably will switch him out of the party in just a little bit. I do want to at least reserve one battle so that we can show it. But yeah, 20 MP, totally worth it. Dark Matter. And Luca's only 91 points away from Flare. So that means that as far as tech learning goes, Frog is pretty much there. Still have ways to go with Marley, and Shock is pretty close. So as far as single techs go, and therefore all double techs, we are getting extremely close to learning it all. So yeah, you're at that kind of point in the game where you just know everything. You know you've learned all of the possible techniques. So how cool is that? A game that actually allows you to gain knowledge of a lot of techniques without a ton of extra work. So let me just take advantage of this save point right here. Alright, so I think I'm going to go a little bit further into this video before I cut out, because there is an enemy right here that we're going to be fighting. who is going to be rising out of the ground using Technicolor panels or whatever. And this is the, it's another mutant. I forget which one it is. I think it's the Giga, the Terra mutant. There we go, the Giga mutant. And so this guy is a little bit different than before. He uses various fire attacks on you, which are really, for the most part, not that effective. I'm trying to figure out exactly what... Okay, so the top is immune to physical attacks, which is a shame. And I believe what he actually does is he sucks the life out of the bottom. So that's kind of interesting. But now we're going to get to see the famous dark matter. Once again, the triangles of doom. And so let's see what kind of damage we're looking at. Oh, yeah. Definitely quite effective. And so what you want to do is you want to capitalize on using magic against this guy. I remember now. So the best way to try to deal with them is to use as many magic attacks as possible. So dark matter is your friend. Luminaire is your friend. One thing I probably should have done before doing this battle is actually equipped a gold stud on Magus, so that way you could just spam dark matters like a crazy person. But that's okay. You don't have to do that. So the way that I used to do this is that every once in a while, this monster will suck juice out of its bottom. You can imagine it's sort of a dirty motion if you really want to think graphically about it, but yeah, that's what happens. Anyway, so you can do that, but it's way more effective just to use magic on this guy. It'll take him out a lot quicker. And even though it doesn't seem like you're doing a whole lot of damage, you actually are. This guy doesn't have a whole lot of HP. So it is kind of interesting how in this dungeon you do have, essentially, there's a third boss that's a lot like this as well. And he's actually one of the easier ones. Not quite as easy as the Mega Mutant. That guy was a joke. But he is, I think, a little bit easier than this guy just because it doesn't take quite as much time. Because really at this point, once you've powered up your attacks and your techniques up to the point of maximization, I guess you would call it, then it's really just a matter of, well, okay, our bosses are sort of determined by how long it actually takes to fight them. And so this is one of the ones that takes a longer period of time. Just all those animations and so forth. I do really like how they, okay, so we've defeated the bottom. So now the top just remains, and so from here you can just use a series of single enemy attacks like Dark Bomb, probably use Fire Sword again, because why not? But yeah, Dark Bomb, Dark Bomb does almost as much damage as Dark Matter. It just hits a single enemy as opposed to several, so yeah, see, not bad. And there you go. Mega Mutant's dead, or Giga Mutant's dead. See, not that hard. And Luca is even closer to learning Flare, which he probably will in the next battle. So, woohoo. Yippee skippy. Alright, so that is the Giga Mutant. And so we're making our way through the Black Omen. So what other beasts of burden lie ahead? Is there going to be some kind of multi-headed Hydra that's going to eat us up and do 1,000 damage? Probably not. But there might be some other surprises lurking ahead in the Black Omen. So thank you guys for watching. This is the Benjinator, for tuning in to Let's Play Chrono Trigger, and I'll see y'all next time.